Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. So we are doing these webinars to help increase our product knowledge and give our clients a better understanding of the platform to help optimize your workflow. So on today's agenda, we will be talking about the OCAN, which is the Ontario Common Assessment of Need, the Inter-Cha, and the prescription writer. So for our future webinars, we are going to be doing client pathing on the 13th, which is the task management module, the target tracking module, and the goal planning module. On March 14th, we will be doing the client portal and appointment reminders. On the 19th, we'll be talking about integrations such as OCAN and GreenSpace. And the 20th will be children's assessments, and the 21st will be payment processing. All of these webinars are scheduled for 12 p.m. EST. Okay, so I'm just going to get started on the demo. So I will be doing OCAN first. So can everyone see my screen all right? I hope so, okay. So I'm just going to go through the OCAN right through the global menu at the top over here. And over here we have our search parameters. So we have the ID, we can search it by the client name, the start and end dates, and we also have the option of narrowing down our search by submission status. So whether it is submitted or if it's never been submitted, if it's ready for submission, if we had a successful or unsuccessful last submission. And here we will find all of the OCANs that have been completed throughout our organization. So I'm just going to go through one of the OCANs right over here. We can also access this OCAN through the client file. So over here we have our worker name, our client ID, the start and completion date, and we have the consumer information summary, the self-assessment, and the staff assessment. So there are a couple of different OCANs. So we have the core OCAN, we have the core and self OCAN, and we have the full one. So I will be going through the full OCAN today. Okay, so I'm just going to hit review for consumer information summary. So over here we have just the demographic information of the OCAN. We have information on the mental health functional center, and of course we have our drop downs and check boxes just to ensure that we can complete this easily. We have the family doctor information, other contact. We have legal information that we can add, areas of concern, some more demographic information. We have citizenship status, and again, some more legal information. And I'm just going to draw your attention to the left of the page right here, so this sidebar. These checkboxes are here so that we can navigate the OCAN assessment. So if I have information on hand that I want to quickly go to, I can just hit that spot and it will take me there. And another interesting sort of functionality we have here is these checkboxes indicate whether it's been completed or not. So if I don't have a portion of my OCAN assessment completed, it will let me know by this little caution triangle right there. So once it's been completed, it will check it off. I'm going to move on to the self-assessment now. So there we go. Okay. So this is basically the self-assessment where we talk about needs. So whether they don't need something or whether their needs have been met. And they can just go through it with these check boxes. And we actually have this really cool functionality where we can switch to client mode at the top right here. So once I hit switch to client mode, this will lock them out of EMHware. So they won't be able to access EMHware, and you can actually just flip your screen over and let the client complete this themselves. So once they're done, or if they need to save their information, they can either just click save or save my changes, I'm done. And once they do that, it will come back to the login screen where the worker can then enter in their username and their password. And it will bring them back to the worker's side of the EMHware. of their EMHware. So I'm just going to go onto staff assessment. Now there's two sidebars for the staff assessment. Because there's so many portions of this assessment, we have a second one that will sort of take us through each section. So for example, with this one, once it's been completed, we can actually hit save and continue, and it will take us to the next section. So right now we're at food. If we want to go to looking after the home after we've completed it, all we need to do is save and continue, and it will just take us down through the OCAN assessment. And we also have that second sidebar to take us through the specific section we're in. So again, if a part hasn't been completed, it will indicate that through this caution sign. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you is that once we're completed with the OCAN assessment, we can actually hit authenticate, and it will actually send that directly to the IAR, or we can cancel the OCAN just with this button right here. And if we wanted hard copies of the OCAN assessment, we can do so by clicking any of these options over here, and it will actually give us a hard copy in case that the client can't come and fill it out with the worker. They can fill it out on their own. Okay, so now I'm just going to move on to the CHA. So again, I'm just going to go through the global menu over here, but this can be done by entering the client file as well. And again, we have our search parameters. We can narrow down our search through the assessors, the start and end dates, the reason for the CHA, and whether it's been authenticated or non-authenticated. I'm just going to click Willie's assessment right here. And I'm going to unlock this so you can see what it looks like when it is unauthenticated. So here is the CHA. We have a number of data points that have been pulled from the data set. So this is just their demographic information. We have face sheet information. We have intake and initial history. And we also observe their health behaviors such as their cognition, their communication and vision, their mood and behavior. And we also have these drop downs over here. We have psychological well-being, functional status, continence, disease diagnoses, health condition, nutritional status, medications, treatment and procedures, social relationships, environmental assessment, and discharge. So based on what you answer in this assessment, it can actually trigger other CHA assessments as well. So for example, the functional supplement was triggered as well as the mental health supplement. So this one has already been authenticated, but this is what it would look like if it's authenticated. So this is the, I believe this is a functional supplement. So again, we have cognition, mood and behavior, we have functional status, continence, disease diagnosis, health conditions, oral and nutritional status, skin condition, medications, treatments and procedures. Yeah. Okay. So once we actually authenticate the main CHA over here, so once everything has been authenticated, so if I validate and authenticate, okay, I will get access to both the CAPS and outcomes report and the assessment summary report. So the CAPS and outcomes looks like this. So this is just an overview of all the information that we got from our CHA assessment. And we can actually extract this into CSV or even print it. And this is the assessment summary report. Again, just an overview of the answers from their assessments. And all of these assessments can actually be extracted into CSV, XML. This is a submission button for the CHA, and they can be printed or printed with notes. So that is the OCAN and CHA. I don't know if, should we take questions right now or if we should just wait for the prescription writer and then do questions at the end, Amanda?
I think if there's any questions, feel free to pop them in the QA section. We'll give a minute or so for that, and then we can flip over to the prescription writer and check for questions again at the end.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to take over the screen share once Saba quits it. If you have any questions, we will check in on those right after we finish the prescription writer. Okay, so here I am logged into a client file. And the first place I'm going to stop on my way to the prescription writer is in the client's medication section. So in here, we'll see a list of all medications that my client has or is currently prescribed. And we can see here, 2 of these are currently discontinued. So when we're looking at our medications, in order to pull medications into the prescription writer, they have to be entered into the medication section first. So here you can select the medication, the dose and unit, the route of administration, the frequency. You can also enter in the prescriber and the pharmacy that it's filled by. So here I've got my example set up for my Accolade. So to write a prescription for new medications for this client, we can go into the prescription writer here. Here we'll see existing or previous prescriptions that have been written, and these can all be opened up and reviewed. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new prescription. You'll see it's populated a lot of information for me into this form already. So today's date, we can set an expiry date for our prescription. It's pulled in the client information from the data set. It's pulled the pharmacy information as well. The client's allergies, any allergies that are active in the client's allergy section will pull in here. Since the allergy section can be used for all types of allergies, not just medication allergies, you might pull in some that are irrelevant to that prescription. So if that does happen in this situation with bee stings, I can remove those allergies. And then the medication information, I'm going to go ahead and select my medication. And then based on my selection, it's going to pull this prescription from the medication that we completed here and put it in proper format for the prescription. And we can do multiple medications at one time. So here I'll pick the Suboxone. Again, it pulls in that information as well as the comments. And then down here with the prescriber that we had set, the only 2 pieces of information that it will not pull in is their unique registration number. And then they can sign. And then when the prescription is complete, you would click on Write Prescription. And another pop-up window has shown up here on my left-hand side where it takes everything that's been entered in this EMHware prescription format and put it in a proper formatted prescription format here. And At this point, if I click on complete prescription, it will actually fax it to the fax number that's on file for my pharmacy. I don't have it set up right now, so when I click this, it's gonna run for a long time on us. But this can also just be printed off and provided to the client as well, or delivered to the pharmacy by hand. And so here I've also got this copy of my prescription. So we've got it for our records, and we can see all previous prescriptions that were sent. And that concludes the demonstration for the prescription writer.